Okay, welcome back to Black Clover Anime Review, episode number 96. Yeah, just a few more for episode 100 for this review series. Okay, first talk about, this basically of new chapter, new episode of the anime, new chapter manga. First up, new episode of anime, those remaining. The episode starts off, but I think it's just during the events of the reincarnation arc, where you have this new woman named Derry, where she's with her husband and her mother. Well, just basically like a normal day, and apparently she has ability to siphon off. Basically, her ability is basically take magic from other people and use it for her own use, like using it to heat up soup. Everything is like basically like a normal day, and then the Eye of Midnight Sun's headquarters just happened to be passing through the town, wrecking the whole town. And then while she's grieving over the death of her husband and her mother, not long after that, the ending of the reincarnation arc happens when Winley Vantas activates his world tree power to basically remove all the elves possessing the magical knights. They'll also possess a little girl for some reason, which they do reference to here. So, and then they see in the paper that Asa's gonna be tried for being a devil, and then of course they have the whole meeting stuff that happened in the start of this anime in the original arc. We had the Mito basically where he is not very happy with what's going on here, so he basically has no choice but to go along with it. And one of his subordinates, who hates the devil because he killed his nephew, he wants to do more, like execute immediately, and the Mito's like, no, we're not executing him, and he insists on it. He says. And more he just basically he's basically just tired of his rambling. Tells him to get out of his office. He does, and he just goes home. And then Dorito, the original girl for this arc, she along with her friend just happened to know about the guy and agreed to work together because they hate devils. And the first target is Marie. Yes. The little girl. Oh yeah, what's Asta up to? Well, first he's training with Noel, then Noel takes a break and he just does some exercise. Yep, and he does this the whole episode, just lots and lots of exercise. And we also see that apparently Fenrir and Goosh come back from their training and relax, and then of course he wants to go sneak up to see Marie because the sister basically is out of town until that very night because of sister conference. What happens in town is that the kids, now Marie is, now apparently they become this group known as the Devil Breakers. So they apparently, these people easily overpower I get the 4 kids, fine. But apparently easily overpowering someone who actually can use a grimoire. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, what? And they apparently take out the town. And they apparently take the girl apart, like these special handcuffs on her with a symbol of the kingdom on it. And then they're let off. And when Goosh and Fenrir show up, he basically is upset that Marie has been taken. Meanwhile, the Black Bull's hideout, they're there just to take Asta. And then Asta hears something, and then Nero transforms from her bird form to her human form. And like, oh, we're in luck. 2 people are a list. And they attack. Asta doesn't even get a chance to take out his frickin' sword. And these people frickin' cheat. Of course, Noel is just there to get you the hideout. Henry is sleeping. And of course, everybody else is off training. So. And she does briefly fight them. She tries to use her Sea Dragon's Roar, but she's stopped. Because somebody's had to use some plant magic on him. Like, what? And then she uses her magical, and then she goes to Valkyrie armor, which, awesome, the fact she did. And she was chasing after them. She's able to rescue Asta, not much of a problem for these people. But she couldn't rescue Nero because they knocked them both out. Basically, Nero's used her power to release Asta from a restraint that he's in. Yeah, apparently they use some kind of knockout gas on both of them. Even Asta's rescue, they take Nero. I'm kind of like, okay. So I get the fact these people just don't like devils, fine. But these people are just written to be not see the clear picture. Asta is the victim of all this, and them attacking. I would not be surprised. Now I would be shocked if I hear that next week's episode they're gonna go after William Bonchance. I wouldn't be surprised to go after him or or anybody else basically who was possessed by an elf. So yeah, servants devil. They were possessed by freaking elves. And yet these people think, oh, they're serving the devil because some people in the Magic Parliament basically spin in that way, despite the fact they have no evidence to support it. Yes, because the Magic Parliament is basically people who's in are basically the nobility, basically the 1% of the country. They're all idiots, except Noel. Of course, I like the fact Asa calls out Noel's common lines. Oh yeah, I'm royalty. And he's like, he easily calls out the ridiculous line. It's probably just basically a lot. It's probably the voice actor's probably written line like, you say that and it means absolutely nothing. Just a lousy excuse like they think you're better. Like that's the kind of imply what he's saying. But I get the reason why the writer wrote that in when he wrote this in because everybody is pointing out, though, the line says, because I'm royalty, is a nothing line. And interesting that they poke fun of that. That's fine. I have no problem with it. I like the stuff they do with the Black Bolts. That's fine. The thing I don't like about this episode is apparently the Deathbreaker is a group of cheaters. Yeah, these people basically easily beat a guy who is trained in magic. I think he's a magical knight who just happened to be stationed in the town. And yeah, it's a good episode, but man, he feels so frustrated at the fact that the main characters are having their butt handed to them by a group of people who cheat at magic. Yes, yeah, and probably because what happened here, this probably gets Yami's attention basically go after because they dare go after Asta. Yep, so that's the episode for you. Now on new chapter of the manga, chapter 263, Shadow Intel. The cover image is the popularity poll, and it's on a 2-page spread. Now, basically coming the top 10. Number 10 is Magna. That's interesting. The fact he made 10. Number 9 is Leopold. Interesting. Number 8 is Luck. 7 is Goosh. 6, Nero. 5 is Noel. 4 is Charlotte. Even I'm surprised about this. Second, of course, is Yam because he's super popular. And Asa's number 1 because he's the main character. Gotta love his attire. Chapter picks up exactly where the last chapter left off, where you have Asa coming to the captain's meeting, and everyone's like, "Who are you, intruder?" And of course, he summons other devils. It's like, what? Well, 4 of them. Yep, another 2-page spread. It's like, I believe I'm qualified to attend this meeting. And then Julius steps in. He's the vice captain. He's belonging to the Black Bulls. He's been spanking him spying, although I didn't know he was devil host either. Black Bull's vice captain spying the spanking him. Interesting. Yeah, apparently Yami kept this a secret for some reason. Hey, aren't you? But your magic was that man is gone. Now then, short on time. I like to move the main target. Everyone sit. You're aware the spanking intends to open the gate of the underworld. So the end preparations ritual we have a quadpluck are now on the way in the castle. He mentions that Yami and Vanch is basically on the basically offer as sacrifice offerings. From this point on, 7 days of the Advent Quarter will begin. 7 levels, 7 gates open gradually. Inside, there are 10 devils matched to Clover and its implications. The deeper the level, the stronger the devil. The upper devils are equals of the Dark Triad. The lower devils are more powerful. And the final of these devils is Slorfrio. If the final devil free emerges, the world is finished. So basically, they have a version of Lucifer. Interesting. As catalyst to the event, Yam and Vinus will die. Conversely, until the gates are open, until they're full open, they will be both alive. And of course, Zero is like, This man, he's quite off mission by himself. Irritating, dangerous here. Why would Dark try to do something dangerous? Probably no reason we can understand. As Magic Knight Brigade members, you've seen far too much of it, as haven't I? Scum will hurt others without second thought for the sake of others, for the sake of their own desires, who feel no sense of guilt as they within themselves. The Paradragon's a breed. What are they thinking? I don't care what they understand it. Unjust evil, they're the type I hate the most. If God and the devils forgive them, I never will. That said, I can't defeat the Dark Triad. I know my own limits, but I can't do much more. So I'm going to make him our ultimate warrior. Anti-magic holds potential. 3 days from now, the gate of the world will be opened. Before that, we will take reality vengeance and destroy the Tree of Quantum. This time is our time to strike. And it will build an elite force around Asta, made of those potential to defeat a devil and mount an assault on the Spade Kingdom. Wow. Even though it's a wordy chapter, but this is a great chapter. Yeah, sets up a lot of potential for this arc. Yeah, if that Lucifer was basically summoned, that's almost like the end of the series right there. But it's great that we get a lot of development of this arc in this one chapter alone. And I give this chapter roughly a 10 out of 10. It's a great chapter and definitely great setup for what's going to come in next. And apparently building an elite force around Asta. I wouldn't be surprised as many people he knows, like Noel, Mimosa. Of course, probably wants to chip in because he wants Mercur's captain. I'm sure it's probably comprised of pretty much like a lot of people. So, who knows what the reaction will be next chapter, which is going to come out Sunday. But I won't review it until next week. Okay? So yeah, that's it for single review, and that's it for videos today. So, stay tuned for tomorrow for hopefully my review for... I have one more review to do for One Piece, basically talk about Boss Luffy. And of course, ReZero. Yes, new episode coming tomorrow. And maybe Comic Corner. Or two, okay? See you next video. Bye.